Hello, my name is Maddie Hovrick and welcome to my YouTube channel. Today I'm going to make a video on my hair must-haves because I'm going to be starting a series of tutorials on how to do hair. So I kind of have a bunch of stuff with me right now that's all the supplies I frequently use when I'm doing hairstyles. These aren't like stuff you have to have because it depends on your specific type of hair for what stuff's going to work. But this is what works for me and what I use, and you're going to be seeing them a lot in my tutorials, so it's something you might want to look into getting. If you're interested in any of these products, you can comment because I don't have the links to everything, but you can comment and I'll get you a link to those specific products and then you can get them. So I'm going to start out with all my hairsprays and stuff. My first one is dry shampoo, because I have hair that gets pretty greasy pretty quick, so I use dry shampoo a ton. Again, this isn't something that's super necessary, it just depends on did you wash your hair that day? Does your hair need dry shampoo? And it's just very helpful when you're feeling lazy and don't want to wash your hair that day. Plus it helps styles hold well. And then kind of following up with that, we have leave-in conditioner, which is helpful again if you didn't feel like washing your hair that day and your hair gets really tangly. Mine doesn't because it's short now, but if you do have really long hair, that's definitely something helpful to have. I also use mousse. When I had long hair, I used tons of mousse to hold my curls. Right now, since my hair is shorter, it will hold without any mousse, but this is something you should probably look into getting if you have a lot of hair and you can never get your curls to stay. And then kind of along with that, we have hairspray. Hairspray is not something I use very often because I really just don't like it. It makes your hair crunchy. It's kind of weird, but if you need it, you can use it. And of course, the obvious hairbrush. I have this hairbrush. It's a wet brush, and it's my absolute favorite to use for brushing hair. And I also have my round brush because I have short hair. When I want to style it and I want the ends curled under, this is something I use, but it probably won't be used much in my tutorial videos. I also have two types of combs, a regular cheap $1 plastic comb from Walmart or whatever. Anything works, whatever you have. I love this pintail comb because it makes it a lot easier to part things, especially if you're doing very precise part lines, which I might have in later tutorials. Depends on what I decide to post. But this is a little bit more expensive, and this one also works fine, but not as well as the metal pin. Another thing I use a ton is this curling iron. I'm not sure what size the barrel is because I kind of inherited it from my mom, but this is something I love to use. It's what I use to curl my hair today, especially with my short hair. I've been using it way more than my curling wand. So I actually use this iron as a curling wand most of the time, but I also like it because I can use the clamp, especially with the really short pieces underneath short hair. It makes curling a lot easier. And then I also have my Conair Rose Gold curling wand. It came in this kit actually that has 3 different wand expansions or barrels that you can put on. So this one's kind of for a beach wave. It's fatter at the top and then it gets tighter on the ends. And then there are 2 other barrels that you can use, but this is the one I use the most. And this is usually better for long hair. I prefer using my iron for short hair and my wand for long hair. So that's all the stuff I have on this side. Now on to my accessories and stuff I use. First these. These aren't really accessories, but they're something I use a lot along with my curling irons because they're hair clips and they're incredibly helpful, especially with thick hair or short hair. Actually pretty much every type of hair. If you're able to section it off where you can just take half of it, twist it up, and clip it in place, it makes curling so much easier. So I would suggest getting some of these. You can also use rubber bands to section hair, but it's not as effective. And my hair, when I had long hair, it would always get tangled up in the rubber band, and then I'd have to rebrush it and then do the curls. So I prefer these a lot. Then, my favorite latest accessory that I got, and I'm absolutely in love with, are these hair cuffs that are in my hair right now. You can use them for putting them in a braid, or you can just put them loose scattered in the hair like this. which is what I like to do with my curls because it kind of dresses them up. Basically, it's just a bunch of these little rings. They are like aluminum or something. I'm not sure exactly. Just spilled them everywhere. They have little like jewels in them, and you just pull them apart and then put your hair in it and then just cuff them like that. So another thing I use a ton, of course, are bobby pins, especially with updos and stuff. I use a lot of bobby pins all the time. I have the regular size bobby pins, and I also have these jumbo bobby pins that I like to use for updos because you can just hold hair better with them. I prefer them over the tiny ones because when I would do updos with my long hair, I have a lot of hair, so it wouldn't hold very well with just using these. So I have like 5 of these jumbo ones, and then I use them. You don't have to have jumbo ones. Of course, it's just like, again, whatever your hair type is, whatever works for your hair specifically, what you need in hair stuff. So it's really up to you. Then something kind of along with that I've been using are these pins I got from Walmart. They're like super helpful hair clips. And they're kind of like bobby pins, but not really. They're a little more decorative. But I have used them as bobby pins before, and they hold super well. So if you're interested in these, just comment below, and I will find the link to them, track them down somehow. And I also have them in my hair. I don't know if you can see, but it's actually holding my braid in place right now. Then, of course, rubber bands, hair ties, whatever you want to call them. Big ones, mostly for my updos, I use them as a base to like hold everything in place, and then I build around that. And then tiny ones, because those are helpful to hold braids together and just hold stuff together. Another thing about those hair cuffs I mentioned earlier is when you have tiny rubber bands in your hair, you can use them to cover them, and it makes it look a lot fancier, which is really fun, and it takes like 2 seconds to do. And then my final thing I have, scrunchies. I love to use scrunchies. I mean, they're not really specific for a hairstyle, but especially with short hair, there's something super easy to be able to style your hair with, and you can get all the colors: glitter, velvet, t-shirt material, whatever you want. They're super fun, and you can have like fancy ones, you can have casual ones, like compare the difference, all the sizes. I just really like scrunchies. So that's all I have for today. Thank you for watching, and I would tell you to subscribe, but that always annoys me when people tell me to subscribe, so subscribe if you feel like it, but I'm not pressuring you into anything. And I'll see you in my actual first tutorial whenever I make that. So, bye!